Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fandom Post Radio Podcast. I am your engineer, Kate, and joining me this week is Kestrel.
Hello.
And Mark.
Hello.
And Kane.
Howdy, howdy.
And we are here to talk about anime. This week we are going to be discussing all of the recent news involving all of the moving and shaking and bad things happening in the industry, because there's been some funny and not so funny things happening at large due to the state of the universe. But I should actually look at the news document and see what the hell's going on.
I actually had nothing on it, and we were just kind of talk about these things that I maybe wouldn't have put on it, but are good for conversation topics. But then I went to look up the Demon Slayer numbers just to see if they had passed a couple thresholds that I was going to report on, which they haven't quite. So it hit number 6 for highest grossing R-rated film, and number 6 for highest grossing R-rated film series. But it is very close to getting to number 4 on the film list, which it will pass both Deadpool and Deadpool 2 for their worldwide lifetime gross shortly. And then should be number 5 on the series list soon as well. However, when I went to Google the movie, I saw that, in fact, as of today, it was nominated for the Golden Globe for Best Animated Feature in... what is it actually called? Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Infinity Castle, Part 1, Akazo Returns, is now a Golden Globe nominee.
I hope they have to read that out loud at the
I know.
And then whoever they choose to read that has the most confused look on their face.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting that the US release has not used half of the subtitles at all. Because it is part 1 of a trilogy, and I don't know how they're going to reconcile that when they get to part 2, because they're just calling it Infinity Castle, which is the whole trilogy. But yeah, I think for now, I think they do legally have to say Kimetsu no Yaiba in there, but they'll only include 3 parts of that. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 part title. So half of it. Anyway, it's
is there any other nominee that it's like? I haven't paid too much attention to non-anime films that are being released that it could be up against outside of K-pop Demon Hunters, I guess.
Yeah, I mean...
Which is kind of like, feels as if it would be the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely... And, nobody cares about the Golden Globes. I'm only mentioning this because we got a fucking, not only anime film, but anime film that is basically season 5 of a TV series. Nominated for a Golden Globe, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But the best animated feature race for every award show, including the one that people actually care about, is definitely K-pop Demon Hunters versus Zootopia 2. So I think K-pop Demon Hunters still probably has the better chance. They already gave Zootopia 1 the Oscar, and it's basically about what did my kids like, and everyone's kid in the country loves K-pop Demon Hunters. So, and it's a good movie, which helps.
I feel like it's almost as close to a shoo-in as you could get based off of those criteria, because it's also like fucking everywhere. It's like
it's the biggest phenomenon of the year.
Yeah, huge phenomenon. Had like floats and performances at the Macy's Day Parade. That was like the thing that they kept advertising during the Thanksgiving Day Parade was like, hold on, the K-pop Demon Hunters come up, please watch, please keep watching.
Yeah,
it's coming, it's on its way, and it's just all over. I hear K-pop Demon Hunters songs just like in stores without context. Like,
yep, same.
You would
it's
never
hilarious
do that for a Zootopia song or whatever.
Well, I mean, they do try with Zootopia. They do have Shakira there to make one song every movie. But yeah, I mean, the soundtrack has broken like all movie soundtrack records. It's just like the biggest pop soundtrack, or the biggest pop album, in addition to being the soundtrack to the biggest movie of the year. and it's especially hilarious for like, the songs that are designed to be as vapid and vacuous as possible, and that's the point of them in the film, and they're incredibly popular in real life.
Yeah, Oh, you mean media literacy is dead? No.
I mean, they're just extremely correct in what appeals to pop fans. But yeah, I do think it has a very good chance at winning all the Best Animated Feature awards, and that Golden is... I can't imagine anything other than Golden winning Best Original Song in any of these awards either.
Yeah, it would be it. The Vegas betting odds would not be in your favor if you chose anything but that. So I guess I know what I'm gambling on.
Best Original Song is usually a pretty good... Like, if you had a song in a movie, because they're so rare to have an original song in a movie, you will probably win the Oscar.
I'm shocked that
fucking Muppet songs have won the Oscar. It's more than you think.
I know there is a limit to how many from one movie can be nominated a year. I think it's 3. I'm surprised that only one from K-pop Demon Hunters was nominated for the Golden Globes. We'll see if it's more for the Oscars. But yeah, I think probably whatever the maximum is, that's how many should be nominated from K-pop Demon Hunters. I guess 1 from Sinners, and then I don't care.
Could be the sort of thing they don't want to split the vote, so They only nominate the one.
Very true. Yeah.
I think the lesson we need to take from this in particular is that Demon Slayer just needs a good song.
Like, I mean, it does have 2. It does have 2 original songs that are advertised as selling points for the film, even in the American trailers. So that definitely also exists. I just don't know if any of these film academies are going to go as far as caring about a J-pop song yet. Maybe in
and I'm talking about the song needs to be performed by Tanjiro, like as he's cutting a demon's head off or something. Like, not just a song that comes with the show. It's got to be performed in the show.
I suppose, yeah.
That's what it needs. That's what would take it over the top, baby. They're spending millions of dollars on these movies. Get a song in there. Man, that'd be incredible, actually.
It's made $780 million so far this go round, so they can certainly humor us with Natsuki Hanai singing a number as he cuts off heads. Anyway, and on the Oscar front as well, we won't have the nominations till next year, but they did release the document of like everything that is eligible, and of course Demon Slayer was also listed for what's eligible for animated film, but there are many in there, and it'll probably be close-ish to what we're seeing in the Golden Globes. I don't see it veering off too much, but I didn't see Demon Slayer getting a nomination here, and I think if anything's going to be different in the lineup, it's that. But could be wrong. It could get the Oscar nom as well.
Is this the first year of the whole please watch every movie if you're going to vote thing going on?
Oscars?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because was that this year where they're like, hey, if you're going to vote, you have to, at least kind of prove you've actually seen the movies you're voting for.
Right.
I know it blew a lot of people's minds because they're like, you mean that wasn't a requirement before?
I know. Yes, that is this year.
So I hope Oscar judges watch the Demon Slayer movie if it gets nominated, but they haven't seen a single piece of Demon Slayer otherwise.
A 3-hour movie that follows like 75 episodes of a TV series.
Yep, and they're just sitting there watching it completely in the blind.
Yeah.
God, I can't, the Oscar voters that actually bother to vote for the animated stuff hate animation with a burning passion. Every time any of that stuff leaks, you get those people who are like, fucking this kitty shit, fuck it. And I'm like, what? Like, could you at least, like, maybe don't vote if you don't have any fucking clue what you're doing?
Like, just to refresh everyone's memory on how much of a joke the Oscar specifically for Best Animated Feature is, um, Boss Baby and Ferdinand were nominated instead of A Silent Voice, Your Name, and In This Corner of the World.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, quality is quality, and those three just didn't have it.
Oh,
Those were all the same year, and those were the two that got it over those three.
oh.
You're gonna sit here and tell me with a straight face that Boss Baby didn't move you emotionally?
Yeah. So, it's all a joke, but it's still wild to see, and it'll be even more wild to see if it also gets the Oscar nomination.
Has an anime movie ever been? I'm sure it has, and I bet no. No. Why would they be? Idiot. No, I was gonna say like just nominated for like best foreign language film or something along those lines. I don't know how long the animated movies have been around, like as a category. So
Only
I was
21st century.
Yeah, so I was wondering if one had ever just been lumped in with the foreign language films or something, if it was deemed worthy enough or something.
The animation award is a relatively new concept, and it only exists, I think, because of Beauty and the Beast. Because the movie was good enough that they had to nominate it for like Best Picture, and they never wanted to have to do that with an animated movie ever again.
Which is funny because they've nominated more animated films for Best Picture since the Best Animated Feature award was.
Once again, it comes down to a lot of those people absolutely hating animation.
Yes, that is the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, they don't watch the Best Animated Feature nominees. They make their kids watch it. They vote for whatever their kids say. They throw up people who have nothing to do with animation to joke about how animation is for kids when they present the award. There's only ever been 3 nominees for Best Picture that were animated, and obviously none of them won. The Best Animated Feature award only existed because they didn't want to nominate any animated films for Best Picture, like we just said, and has only existed in the past 25, less than that, 23, 24 years. And yeah, no anime film's ever been nominated for best international film. I think maybe 1 or 2 animated films from other countries have. Flow was last year, which was cool. Or I guess this year technically. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been 3 for best international feature. Okay. Waltz with Bashir in 2008, which I think is primarily Israeli, and then Flea in 2021, which is Danish, and then Flow. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Waltz with Bashir, that's when you said that 3 movies had been nominated, that's the first thing I thought of, because I have that on Blu-ray in my collection, and obviously it's super good, but I think I remember the cover advertising that because of how rare that was.
Right.
It was like, hey, buy this, because it's animated, but it's got nominated for a real award. This ain't no kid shit up here.
Right. Yeah. Also, the only, as of right now, maybe next month or whenever we get the Oscar nominations, something else will get in there. But the only non-Ghibli anime to ever be nominated for any feature Oscar, there have been a few that have gotten the shorts, but the only one other than a Ghibli film was Mirai, which happens to be Mamoru Hosoda's worst film up to that point. And yeah, that's his only one. Shinkai has never gotten one. Like I said, A Silent Voice didn't get it, etc. So yeah, we will see. I think they've all... I can't imagine Scarlet getting the nomination. Because like Mirai was not good, but it has like over a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Scarlet even only has like a 70. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And that was probably that was my thought of what they were pushing for an anime. But yeah, I guess Demon Slayer is the best bet now.
Yeah, it's okay. This reminds me of like granted, obviously I watch a lot of anime, but I was like, at least you have a soul brethren on my side in that I listen to metal music almost exclusively, and the Grammy for Best Metal Performance has been won by such illustrious bands as Tenacious D and fucking like Deftones, which is kind of, and then Soundgarden, which is most certainly not.
Soundgarden is not. Yeah, that's not. No.
Yeah,
I
looking
love
through the list of
Soundgarden,
best.
but I wouldn't consider them metal.
It's because they're not, and you are correct.
Yeah. I'd be like, yes, rock band they are. An alt rock band, most certainly. Metal. I mean, is Guns N' Roses metal?
They were hair metal.
Yeah, I mean, because that's like the level of metal that, Soundgarden is.
Yeah, if you look at the recipients, since the award was even the award was even a thing since 1990, if it's not Metallica or something, it's just some random band that had a song that was a little heavier than usual.
Ugh.
So it'd be like Ghost, which I like, but they're definitely more rock, and then Tool is a similar thing where they're like metal adjacent.
Like new metal or some bullshit. They're just ugh.
Yeah, and last year's was the Gojira performance at the Olympics. But the only reason that won is because of the Olympics piece. It wasn't like the strength of the song. They wouldn't have given a shit if it didn't have cool Olympics visuals. So I feel it. I feel for anime in that way as well, since I've been listening to this music longer than watching anime, and it from one disrespected genre to another.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Is it's like not only is that not respected, it's in an unrespected category in a thing that a lot of people are like, oh, that's foreign.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that no Disney or Pixar movie has won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature since like 2021. So we've got a good streak of that going. Flow winning was awesome, especially since I had interviewed the guy a few months before. And that's an extremely independent film, which no independent film has ever won that award. It's made almost entirely by one guy, no dialogue, foreign film. So that was very cool to see, just as something different.
What's the guy's name again?
Gintz. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Gotcha.
Gintz Zilbalidis? I don't know. It's Latvian.
Good try, though. Solid.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Solid effort.
Yeah. That was very deserving. Ugh.
I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters deserves it. So.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
It was way better than I had ever expected it to be when Emily and I put it on Netflix on a lark.
Which studio was it? Who did that? I can't even remember.
Sony's the only studio that does anything new.
I know. Sony Animation's been kind of on fire.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
Our gracious overlords at the Sony.
With the Sony. Like, I'm going to give Sony shit where they deserve to get shit, but their animation studios for feature films, that's on point.
Yeah. And I mean, they do a lot of good stuff. They are just the evil corporate overlords who own all of Japanese media. And since we talk about Japanese media a lot, they are the bad guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, in some segments in US media, they're doing okay.
Yeah, like they're actually like, they're holding up the animation industry right now because God knows it ain't anybody else doing it.
Right. And like every innovation that has come out of the American animation industry in the past 7 years has been from Sony Animation. Like Spider-Verse came out, and then all the other studios who have been trying to be Pixar for the past 23 years were like, oh, animation can look like a cartoon again? Oh, okay. And then they did the thing that people always do when something is innovative and groundbreaking, which is copy it, which makes it no longer innovative. But at least in this case, it's a slight change from everything looking like Toy Story for 3 decades.
Yeah. Copy it without understanding what made it popular to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah. The flood of stuff that looks like Spider-Verse has truly been a sight to behold. A fucking Need for Speed game got that makeover.
It always kills me too because, I mean, that happens with anything. I mean, look at how many video games decided to try to look like Hollow Knight before Silksong came out.
Yeah.
There's so many games that were just completely stealing that style. Like, down to the, like, this is very obviously you guys are like, I want to make a Metroidvania that looks like that.
For sure. Yeah, anytime anything makes any sort of waves, everyone else has to copy it, not realizing that what made it special was being different. Same thing with Breath of the Wild, same thing with, just so much media.
Speaking of corporate overlords, I believe there is another story that we wanted to talk about a little bit on this evening. Technically, too, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, which corporate overlord dystopia story are we talking about first?
I was going to talk about. I want to talk about Netflix essentially killing physical media entirely.
Physical media and physical distribution, or
basically all
exhibition,
of it.
Exhibition.
Yeah, basically all of it in their bid to purchase Warner Brothers. The reason I say bid at this point is as of a few hours ago, or maybe like yesterday, I know it was big news right away that they were going to buy it, and it was like a done deal. But apparently that's not such the case because Paramount has now thrown or rethrown their hat into the ring for that. To try and purchase Warner Brothers based off of, I don't know if they're just in the spotlight now because of the sheer negative impact that the news of Netflix trying to buy them has, and maybe Paramount's, I don't know, it feels like they want to capitalize on that.
Well, Paramount started this process. So literally a month after the Ellisons were finally allowed to take over Paramount, they declared that they were going to purchase Warner Brothers. And unlike the other two bidders, they were going to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery outright. Shortly before that, Warner Brothers Discovery had announced that, like my company, NBC Universal, it would be splitting its assets into not exactly back to Warner Brothers and Discovery again, but kind of along those lines. But essentially, the legacy media would get spun off as a different company. And the later bidders who started to follow Paramount's lead were basically, were like, I can't let Paramount have all of this power. Netflix and NBC Universal, in fact, said, we don't want the legacy media. We'll just purchase it. The Warner Brothers assets after the spinoff, and that was Netflix's agreement. Paramount will take the whole thing. They've already got a bunch of legacy media, and it's just the Ellisons throwing around their trillions of dollars of monopoly money, and Saudi money, and Trump's son-in-law's money.
I saw that Kushner's involved.
Yeah. But yeah, basically the Ellisons have never been told no in their life, and they've solved all of their problems by throwing more money at them. So that's where we're at now.
Well, I guess for a pick your poison standpoint, are they the best ones to do this if that is going to be what happens?
Comcast was the best ones out of this shit sandwich, and they got badly outbid.
I guess I shouldn't say anything since I'm technically an employee of Comcast, but how much of a shitty situation do you have to be in to be confident that Comcast was the best option?
Yeah, and it seems to be consensus that it's like
Yes.
It was Comcast, Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Kushner money.
Yeah. It's Netflix wants to kill physical media and physical exhibition. Paramount is Trump's buddies and family and Saudis. And Comcast is just the lesser of three evils.
Yeah,
Comcast
I guess that sounds.
Comcast.
It was weird hearing Netflix being the second rated one, because Netflix is notorious for not physically really distributing anything or producing it. They so focus on getting their original properties just to be watched for even like a season and a half that their library on their streaming sites is shrinking ever so quickly into you will find nothing before like the year 1990 on there anymore. Like, I know that was the big concern from those in the physical media, like movie collecting department, was, well, Warner Brothers has such an amazing catalog of films from the golden age of Hollywood and the 60s and stuff, and if you go on Netflix right now, the things you'll find that are 1960s and earlier is probably, you could count on a single hand. And Netflix just has so much stuff that they've also created and then just don't make available after they've gotten their statistics out of it or whatever. So,
which is Netflix, so wild, because back in the day, man, you wanted all that stuff for syndication. You wanted that library so you could license it out to other people and make money off of it in perpetuity, forever.
Yeah, and now it's just more like buy it and lock it away so you can force people to watch whatever bullshit Netflix original garbage that they're gonna release. So, yeah, obviously it's a pick your poison. Well, I mean, we can't pick. It's gonna be whatever happens, but there is no good result.
No.
From this, especially if you do either A, appreciate and watch older film, and B, collect any physical media whatsoever.
Is there anything, do people like sub-license out like for like video release stuff from Netflix?
Occasionally. It's few and far between.
Yeah.
It's honestly a little bit better for anime than a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, because there's a market that's used to purchasing things there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they say it was like one of the few markets that was still actually like moving as far as like physical releases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, a lot of it does not appear on physical media ever.
Yeah, it essentially has to be like a hit on the level of like Stranger Things or something.
Yeah.
To get any of that attention. Or Castlevania, but I'm sure there was something else going on there. Because they released all of Castlevania on physical media, and it's not like that was a cultural redefining landmark or anything.
Well, according to them, it is anime, and as we've discussed...
That's true. That's true. It is very much anime.
And I mean, also, I suspected this was the case, and I just verified that, yes, in fact, only the first 2 seasons of even Stranger Things ever got a physical release.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, even better. Only the first 3 seasons, but season 3 was DVD exclusive.
Why?
DVD? Like, honest to goodness DVD, or they're just saying DVD to mean disc?
Seasons 1 and 2 on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. Season 3 on DVD.
Jesus Christ.
I look forward to season 4 on Laserdisc.
Yeah, they're gonna go backwards.
Bring back Laserdiscs, That's what we need to do in this universe.
But
they're gonna release season 4 across several Sony UMDs for the PSP exclusively.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man. Yeah, but the anime adjacent stuff, usually people like Viz or G Kids will jump on that. So your Castlevanias and Arcanes, as well as the actual anime, end up getting the physical releases, which is good as a fan of those things, but it sucks for wanting to own anything else that was released on Netflix.
Yeah. I think
the problem, of course. Go ahead.
I want to say Criterion has released something from them before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's not that it never happens, but for the relatively niche Netflix exclusive streaming stuff, yeah, you don't have a good shot. And even the stuff that does come out, like the stuff I mentioned, Arcane, it took a bunch of years for even that to come out, like 3 years. I don't remember. Yeah, 3 years. So it's definitely not as fast as it would be normally.
Yeah, like you're probably not getting a Blu-ray of like Midnight Mass or whatever.
My favorite series of the year, When Life Gives You Tangerines. I don't think I'm ever getting that on Blu-ray.
This is the first I've heard of it, so I want to say I agree with you.
It's a Korean drama. I hesitate to use the word K-drama because I feel like that has certain connotations that this does not deserve ascribed to.
Does each episode end with a PowerPoint slideshow?
It does not.
Yes, Criterion has released Netflix things. More than one.
That's right. Roma was the one I was thinking of in particular because I remember when that one came out. And I thought it was interesting because it was Netflix and they had such a hard time getting Netflix things in particular.
Yeah.
So I guess I wonder what the timeline is for any of this, like what that could look like.
I mean,
considering the insane amount of cash, and of course, obviously, this presidency is also like, well, we may have to step in.
Yeah,
and now everyone knows why.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, even with Ellison and Trump being buds, Paramount took a minute. Like that was a year and a half at least, for that to go through. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. Because it was exactly 13 months for the Paramount merger to go through. Yeah. It's it has to go through approvals from Warner Brothers, and then it has to go through all the regulatory approvals, and obviously this administration will just force all of the agencies to shoot down or pass through whatever they feel like, based on their political corruption. So it could very well be that Warner Brothers says, no, we're sticking with Netflix, and then the administration says, well, nope, we're not letting that get through approvals, and then they go back to Paramount anyway. And even then, it could still take another year or two.
Yeah, and that might be time. And they might be playing the long game where they say, we'll wait for the next administration to come through if need be.
Yeah.
So, depends on what the shareholders do. And by shareholders, I mean the 6 people at the top that own the majority of the shares.
Right, exactly.
And who knows who those people are, so.
Yeah, there's Advanced Publications is technically the only significant corporate shareholder of Warner Brothers Discovery. But yeah, it's since it's interesting because a year or two ago, maybe this time 2 years ago, Warner Brother or Paramount was on their last legs, ready to sell to anyone who will buy. And Warner Brothers Discovery was in talks to acquire them. And then these past few months, especially since Paramount put out their first plan to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, Warner has been yes, please, anyone buy us, just please take us. And they set a deadline of the end of the year. They're we want to be in agreement to sell by the end of the year, which is why you got the Netflix announcement a few days ago. So it didn't seem like they wanted to wait, but yeah, we'll see with this kissing contest that's happening now.
Yeah.
By the way, the numbers here we're looking at what, 83 billion from Netflix,
Yeah,
and what, 108
stupid amounts of money that should not exist by any corporation.
108 billion from Paramount.
Jesus.
Which, to be fair, is only a quarter of Larry Ellison's net worth.
So we're talking chump change here. Is what we're
Basically.
talking.
Yeah.
Like, he could just withdraw that baby and still have a 300 bill to throw around.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, we're all just playing the waiting game anyway until Disney buys everything. So
After Fox, I don't think they're letting Disney take over another media conglomerate. They were
The
basically
mouse
the
will
only
own all.
yeah.
They were basically the only contender who didn't throw their hat into this particular ring.
Which I
Well,
wonder if that says anything.
they're the ones playing the long game.
Yeah, right.
They'll
Exactly.
let everybody else fight it out, and then they'll just buy out whoever wins.
Yep. They'll let them all eat each other, and then they'll consume the victor.
Hey, but at least King of Prussia has a Netflix house now. So that's good. You can go do your Stranger Things stuff at the mall.
Great.
Cool.
Yay.
What the fuck?
I no longer wish to speak about this disaster. So let's move to the next disaster.
Oh, yay! The next disaster is equally awesome.
Disaster, which at least has some hilarity to it based like just on its face. So it's nice to laugh at it. But of course, I'm talking about the Amazon AI dubs that were very recently put up and then I believe taken down after it was discovered that not only, of course, are they AI and therefore slop, but also hilariously terrible.
And also, every rights holder to the shows were not consulted and did not approve of them.
Ooh. I did not know that part. I just knew that they were bad, and I figured they pulled them down for the sheer amount of negative PR they got based off of AI and the shitty quality.
I mean, definitely that. But yeah, and the lack of approval from the rights holder is not as uncommon as you might think for like professional dubs. But also those rights holders could have just claimed that because of all the negative backlash as well. Just wanted to distance themselves from it. But the most baffling thing about it, which is just like the pinnacle of corporate greed and stinginess, is the fact that so the first one of these that was discovered, none of them were announced. It was just people ended up discovering that, there are AI English tracks on some anime streaming on Amazon Prime Video. So the first one was Banana Fish, which has not been dubbed. But then people discovered that there was an AI dub of the No Game No Life movie, No Game No Life 0, which has had a professional English dub by real humans for many years. And Amazon just didn't want to pay the $5 that Sentai would probably charge for them to get the English track for a 90-minute movie. And then I think there were rumors that Vinland Saga had received now a third English dub in the form of AI. But I believe that it ended up being only Spanish that was actually an AI dub for Vinland Saga. And they have been doing other languages, including Spanish, for a while, apparently, AI dubs of anime on Amazon. So, yeah. Banana Fish was the big one. There's the full 2-core series that had never been dubbed, was all AI dubbed, and then that one movie from No Game No Life, I think was the other big one that people were throwing around.
Yeah, those are the two that I had seen. And I've only seen clips of the Banana Fish dub, which, as I was talking about in the chat earlier, I really hope someone like has those, because they took the episodes down, but man, there is some of the most memeable shit on the planet. Like, I'm glad they're down and it's slop, but if you haven't heard them, it's like, think of the worst student film you may have ever seen, and then, like, turn it several notches down from there.
There are definitely a lot of tweets around archiving some of the performances.
Yeah, because it's so bad. There's such a lack of emotion or misplaced emotion.
Mm-hmm.
None of the characters sound like they're alive in any form.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's really, truly terrible. And I do wonder how Amazon has sort of treated the reception, if only because I know a thing that happens a lot in general, like AI notwithstanding, is, you know, a company will throw something out or a politician will throw something out they know is going to get most likely shit on, but then they use it as a gauge of, well, maybe we won't get as shit on as we thought we would, and we'll actually move forward with this. Like, you know, just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And to test the waters of what they can and can't get away with. But, like, the level of failure on this feels relatively spectacular.
Especially considering that at no point were the Japanese companies that own these properties ever consulted on this decision.
And some of them already have English dubs.
Yeah. And there's that too. I mean, but more egregious is like, oh, Japan might just be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and you don't really, you know, typically that's something people have usually tried to avoid. Because in the old days, that would mean your license gets pulled.
Yep.
I guess that's just an example of somewhat of the power structure and how it exists today, where that probably won't happen. So, and Amazon was probably, to a certain extent, you know, calling that bluff to see what would happen, or it's just like, well, who cares if we lose the license to fucking Banana Fish or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that series, it is a very good series, but it has, you know, just been sitting on Prime Video for, like, what has it been, 7-8 years?
Long enough that DJ watched it when he was on the show and was talking about it.
That's true. Mm-hmm. DJ was on the show and watching anime, so it must have been quite a while ago. Yeah, it was 2018, so yeah, 7.5 years ago. Yeah, but I feel like the power dynamic you mentioned is definitely a factor, because, like, this isn't Sentai, this is Funimation, or this isn't Sentai, this isn't Funimation, this isn't even the Crunchyroll of old, this is fucking Amazon. Like, what do they care about Japanese rights holders getting mad at them?
Yeah, there's the money they would stand to lose with that deal if, you know, they went even nuclear, just pulled all of their anime off the service, would be nothing. Like,
negligible.
Yeah, pennies on the spreadsheet, like a rounding error, essentially.
It is hilarious that all these corporations are so greedy and so stingy and so willing to, you know, cut every corner to try to make AI the savior for everything, that an Amazon or a company with more money than God like Amazon would resort to, again, not only not paying to produce dubs, but not even paying for an existing dub of a single movie from probably the cheapest source you could get them, which is Sentai. Like, Sentai notoriously would make its own dubs for shows that it licensed from Netflix, as we mentioned before, because Netflix's dubs were too expensive for Sentai to afford. Mm-hmm. Amazon can definitely afford Sentai's dubs.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts the lengths that they would go to save money. And I mean, especially because it's just another step towards removing the human element from from labor, not only just like in general, but also eroding things like actors unions and stuff that then they don't have to worry about interacting with either, because they could just fucking replace you if they felt like it. Because it's not like Amazon would have ever had to worry about how much it could cost to pay to get an English dub on some of these if they really wanted to. It wouldn't have mattered. It's the principle of it.
Right. Yeah, I definitely, sympathize with all of the people in the anime dub industry, I guess I should say, who are very concerned about their careers now. I mean, obviously, it got this extreme backlash, and the results are abysmal. But just the fact that companies are actively creating these people's entire lives just from AI instead of hiring them is terrifying to see.
We are rapidly approaching Wall-E at speeds that not even Wall-E could have imagined.
Exactly.
That's interesting that you mentioned the whole they had been doing, Spanish and other foreign language AI dubs for some time. I wonder what those existed for, and maybe they just, because of the fact that they are a foreign language, that they just weren't noticed right away as compared to these, because once again, obviously no disrespect to Banana Fish, it is good and I hear very good things about it, but yeah, that show is old and has been around for some time, so it wasn't like Amazon was just like, here's this brand new show we got and it's AI dubbed during simulcast or some shit.
Here's the new Demon Slayer movie. AI dubbed.
Yeah, that'll win the Golden Globe for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not like they announced this. People just stumbled upon them. So who knows how long even the English dubs were out there before someone found them.
True.
People are pretty diligent about finding new data on the internet.
Yeah. Well, and going back to companies doing things to see how far they can get away with it. You pick properties that are maybe not quite as well known, or are older, that maybe not a whole lot of people are clamoring for at this point, just to roll it out and see how it goes, so that later on you can do the Demon Slayer stuff if nobody notices, or people just sort of shrug and be like, oh, this isn't bad, or or whatever. By doing it on something like Banana Fish, now it blows up in your face. It's like, oh well, it was just Banana Fish. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah, they'll try again later for something else when the technology gets a little better, supposedly, and then they'll just keep pushing that envelope. And unfortunately, some people are going to be fine with it too.
Yeah,
like they don't care as long as they can watch the show. They don't really give a shit about who created it or anything. I mean, you don't have to go very far on the internet. And I'm getting awfully close to boomery here, but you don't have to go very far on the internet to find people who are asking about AI just creating their media wholesale. Like animation, music, voice performances, everything, if they just type in a prompt, and it's just like they can watch whatever they want, however they want, without worrying about anything. So
there was like an AI generated song that hit like #1 on Billboard a few weeks ago or something.
Yeah, but that was like a very specific subset of thing. Now, the really fucked up thing is what Spotify is doing, because Spotify loves leading the way of fucked upness.
You can find Phantom Post Radio on Spotify.
Yeah, they don't. Whatever. It's not like we're getting paid by them. And it was like, what is that band? What's that band name? King Lizard. Is that the name of the band?
Yeah, Brandon Lizard.
Yeah, I guess they had at one point they had their stuff up on Spotify and they pulled it down, and they're not up there anymore. Well, Spotify will now recommend you an AI musician with a ripped off King Lizard name. If you want to listen to it, it's not them; it's AI people. But
Yeah, there was a whole ass band and everything. I think I know what you're talking about. I remember it. They had like photos and everything that were AI generated.
Ugh.
Yeah. Absolute crazy go nuts.
I mean, yeah, they've been trying to introduce this AI actress into films.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Which is
Yeah.
so fucking weird just on its face. Yeah, so I guess now it's just more of a, I don't know, kind of like what we were talking about with the Netflix purchase or Paramount purchase or whatever. We're just kind of in a wait and see because it's not like Amazon's gonna learn anything from this.
Yeah, no. We are just on the rapid downhill wait for all of art to die.
Yeah, basically. When nobody can make money off of it anymore, then I guess that's their end game. It'll be 3 companies profiting off of all of history's art and
Yeah, exactly.
music. Yeah.
Putting all of art that humanity has ever made into a meat grinder and shitting out whatever it comes out with.
This
Meanwhile,
too
the
for the
glaciers are melting.
shareholders.
Yes, for the shareholders.
Meanwhile, the glaciers are melting and the swamps are boiling, and they're literally throwing the frogs into the pot of water, except for its entire swamps, and waiting to see when people will notice.
An optimistic episode.
That's the neat thing. They won't.
No, they never will. Numbers must go up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We already did our Christmas episode, Castro. We can be as doomery as we want on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, we're done with the feel-good shit over here.
Yeah, anyone have anything positive to talk about?
Well, hey, let's be fair. There was no depressing news 2 weeks ago for us to talk about, so
I think I talked about the most important person in Toei dying at age 53.
Yeah, that happens.
Clearly, we know how much respect Mark has.
More people have died since
None.
then.
Did just listen to an episode of our friends at the One Piece podcast, where they had on Henry Thurlow, who had worked on One Piece at Toei a bunch, and he talked about Nagamine a lot on there, and just how influential he was in basically, one, they used to have a limit of like 3,000 frames per episode, and when Nagamine took over as series director, he just says, yeah, no more limit. Do as many frames as you want. And he was also the one who made the production international. He's like, if there are any good animators anywhere throughout the world, I want to work with them. And he, basically just brought in all of these people, got them their start, put them in creative leadership positions, and now they're kind of running the show, running the studio, working at a bunch of other studios on other shows, and he kind of put them all there. So, yeah, hugely influential. And, yeah, fuck cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you phrased it there, Castro. I'm sure it's not the way you meant it when you said, when he was, are there any good animators out there? I want to work with him, as if he just had a stable of shitlords that he was currently working with. Like, is there a single good animator out there I can work with?
Specifically outside of Japan.
No, I hear you there. I mean,
still looking for something positive to talk about.
I was gonna say, to answer the previous question, it's kind of tough because we're waiting to discuss our feelings on the season as a whole for a little bit yet, because there are still some shows that are going on. Some shows that it doesn't really matter. Like for me, for Spy Family, I'm enjoying it. It doesn't really matter if the season's over or not. It's not like anything's gonna fucking happen. So
sounds like negativity, Kane.
But they might hook up over these next, like for real, for now.
For real this time, guys. I'm serious.
For real this time.
What if Lloyd dies next episode? You'll feel like an idiot.
It reminds me of the meme where it's like, come on, bro. Come on, just one more episode, bro. I swear it's good.
Here's
No, I am
cheery.
enjoying
Here's
it, but
something
it's just
cheery.
like,
I
yeah,
found something cheery, guys.
you did.
G Kids is partnering with IMAX to bring 4K restorations of Studio Ghibli films, overseen by Studio Ghibli animator Atsushi Okui. So there you go.
There it is. Boom.
Yeah.
Get your constant stream of G Kids releasing Ghibli films in theaters. This time
every year,
slightly higher definition. Yeah.
Yep. Every year. There you go.
Yep.
And in IMAX, which, to be fair, I did like watching The Boy and the Heron in IMAX. That was cool.
Yep.
Like, cannot take away from that. It was neat.
This year as well.
Once again, the closest IMAX theaters to me are located in furniture stores. So,
in what?
Furniture stores.
And
I'm not having
furniture
this
stores.
conversation again. I'm not having this conversation again.
We had been.
Well, I wasn't here for it the first time.
I
Mark
have been
wasn't
to
here
those
for that.
IMAX theaters. I have not. I was not here for that conversation, but I have been to those IMAX theaters. I remember
See,
them.
they're real. Mark's got my back on this.
Mm-hmm.
They're not real and they can't hurt you.
I really need to find the time to get out to the King of Prussia IMAX, because I think it's one of the ones that has the 70mm film
Yeah.
capabilities.
The real shit.
Well,
Yeah, the real.
You should have bought your ticket to the Odyssey a year early.
Yeah, exactly. I should have fucking pre-purchased it. I saw that they not only sold out of the tickets, but I think I read somewhere that Nolan basically has every IMAX screen in the nation for like a month straight.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, or something insane like that. And of course, if you want to see it on the IMAX, you're gonna have to wait until near the end of that run if you are lucky.
Yeah. Or just get them the second they go on sale. Like, his films are the only ones that it's impossible for even me to get the seats I want. Because, like, any superhero movie, easy, get the seats that I want in those first few minutes, no competition at all. The Odyssey, it was like 5 a.m. a year before its release, and the entire theater was gone in the first second.
Even the seats up front where everybody has really long chins.
Well, okay. All the reasonable seats. I did get... All right. I'm exaggerating somewhat, but it's definitely, more extreme than any other movie that I've seen on the release, on the on-sale date, much less a year early.
Well, that's okay, because if Netflix does get Warner Brothers, then we won't have movie theaters anymore, so we don't have to worry about that.
Whoa, you guys' Furniture IMAX has Tempur-Pedic seats.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
Yeah, I bet. Actually, that makes perfect sense. Like, just replace all of the seats with, like, furniture they're trying to sell.
Yep.
Old recliners from the outlet store.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the Netflix Warner deal does go through, I bet Nolan is real glad he left Warner a few years ago. He definitely would have after this announcement, because the reason that he left them after making all of his films with them since, like, Batman Begins, or even before that, was Insomnia, was because they put, like, Tenet on HBO Max during COVID, and he's like, nope, fuck you, I'm never working with you again.
He stands by his principles, at least for what he's worth. Knows that was bullshit, so gotta give him props for that.
Yeah, and I mean, Christopher Nolan is basically the reason that we have, like, the IMAX boom that we've had. He has pushed that forward so much. Like, there wasn't a narrative feature film shot in IMAX until The Dark Knight, and the Odyssey is going to be the first one shot entirely on IMAX film. Oppenheimer, they had to, like, develop new technology for the black and white sequences for whatever reason. And yeah, he's just like constantly pushing that forward. So yeah, he's a big factor in trying to make theatrical still a thing after all the streaming services and COVID and everything. And he fucking sells out theaters with any movie he makes, even if it's 3 hours of old guys arguing in a musty room in black and white. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to respect it. He's got the clout to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, exactly. He has so much power. He's the kind of the one filmmaker who can literally just do whatever he wants.
Indeed, it certainly helps when he has the cachet he does, when he's reached that vaunted status of actors will drop everything to be in his movies, which just doesn't happen very frequently unless your name is like Martin Scorsese or I guess Wes Anderson. So that certainly helps. I think if we wanted to talk about something a little more positive, we could chat a bit about the ending of Fragrant Flower, since that is over, and granted had been over for most of the world except for us.
Mm-hmm. Thanks again to Netflix. The theme of the episode.
Yeah.
Boom.
Right.
It all wraps around.
Almost like we planned it.
Indeed. But Castro, I think you were rating this pretty high when you were watching it. I want to get your take on the ending and I guess how it ended, because I don't read the manga, so I am assuming it only continues from there because it's still ongoing. But I do think they picked a pretty good way to wrap that up, because I'm going to assume that we will not get more of it.
I don't know about that. I think it's pretty popular.
Yeah,
I think if only because it's like I'm used to these stories just ending with the way that this ended, which I mean, whatever. Spoiler alert: the main couple gets together, and then that's like the climax of the property you're watching. You don't really give a shit about what happens after that. It's the lead up and the will they won't they, and then they do, and then that's it. So that is more of my inexperience with this genre more than anything. It's just it makes it so that if they didn't make more, it has a satisfying ending, and then you can keep reading the manga.
Right, for sure. It is definitely a very good ending for a one-core adaptation. And yeah, I mean, it worked out pretty well with where it sits in the story anyway, to allow that, but yeah, you definitely know that from the second they started planning the series, they were like, okay, well, obviously we're going to end the season on this moment. So it does work out very well for that, and it is fairly common that you'll have the will they won't they for the entire series, and that is the entirety of the romantic tension, and when it resolves, then the series is over because they don't know how else to tell a story. And the fact that this happened so early in its run and the manga is still going way past this point is probably one of the best things about it, is that you don't have to just follow the will they won't they for hundreds of chapters. You get to see their relationship progress after a fairly short amount of time.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point in the manga run, I mean, the confession is early in the manga run.
Right.
You know, at this point where, I mean, is it even a quarter of the way through it at where we are at this point? I don't even think it is. I think it's even earlier than that. So, yeah, that was you know, something I thought as well when it was over, was that it was kind of the perfect ending, both as if for whatever reason it does only get the one season, it's sort of the kind of perfect culmination of everything that happens. But if you do get a second and as Kestrel said, I mean, if this is a popular enough series, I'd kind of be surprised if we don't get at least a second season for it. But I think it acts as a good springboard into what's to come if we do get that second season as well. So, go on.
I was just
going to
agreeing
say,
with you.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, with a lot of, ongoing, I've talked about this before, how for like long-running series, especially shonen action, which are going to keep getting seasons, right? It used to be that they would just run forever, they would have filler, they would drag stuff out, and now it's all seasonal, which is great in a lot of ways, but the seasons themselves don't really mean anything, because where a season ends is often just kind of where they ran out of episodes. So you have like Dawn to Dawn, it just like ends in the middle of an arc, or the setup of an arc even. And, that means that a season finale does not feel like a season finale. So it's nice that in this case, it feels like you don't necessarily want this to be the end of the story, but it makes sense to be the end of a season. Like, this is clearly the first chapter in this story, and then the next season can start the second chapter, which makes sense from just, structurally.
Yeah, it's nice that the world does have some unanswered questions that are, at least for me, intriguing as a viewer, but not like loose ends, so to speak. Like, I'm not frustrated by them not being answered. Like, obviously there's still stuff like, okay, well, now Rentaro and Kaoruko are dating, but there's still this whole weird their schools hate each other shit that obviously they're going to have to deal with. And then obviously pursuing being in a relationship versus being in one changes your social dynamics, so they're going to have to work on that too and things. But it's nice in that I see those more as points of interest rather than like story plot points, if that makes sense. Like, oh yeah, I guess their life would kind of suck, or maybe it wouldn't, but hey, it is what it is, sort of, for me as a viewer. Like, it wasn't like they left some brazen, unresolved shit going down, which is nice too. And that I would definitely watch a second season, but I feel like I don't have to in order to have a satisfying conclusion to this story in particular.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, it gives you good closure on all of kind of the tension and threads that it laid out, but it also gives you a reason to want to see more, because you want to see these people actually figure out how to be in a relationship, because that's something new for them. So now the second season gives you something new that you didn't get from the first season, rather than just kind of continuing on the plot threads that it had started with.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wonder as well.
Oh, you go. I was just going to give a shout out to a character that is underappreciated. So,
I'll give a shout out to all of them. But yeah, no. What I was going to say is I think maybe part of the reason that maybe you feel that way, because I'm in the same. I do follow the manga. I'm fully up to date on it. And one of the things that's kind of really nice about this series, and I'm going to use the word nice here a lot, is the fact that everybody's just so damned nice in it. And I wonder if that's maybe part of your, like, I feel pretty satisfied here, because anytime there's tension in this, they come together and talk to each other like people. There is no dragging out of the drama in in any kind of way just for dramatic purposes. They just sort of sit down and talk, and and you get oh crap, I'm forgetting her name now, the Kaoruko's friend,
Subaru.
Subaru, thank you.
WRX.
All I could think, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Subaru, who comes in, and initially, she's very hostile towards them because of the aforementioned rivalry between the schools, and mini spoiler alert, she has some things going on as well. And that's not something that they really let fester. And she hasn't really had any reason whatsoever to even soften her stance at all when she confronts Rintaro. Except that she knows her good friend Kaoruko really likes him, right? And so she's like, well, I'm going to give him a chance then, even though everything is telling me I shouldn't give him a chance. I'm going to give him a chance, and then they talk it out, and everything's cool. And I think that's one of the real appeals of the series, is that you don't have these festering things. People just sit down and talk and deal with it, and they're all cool with each other. And again, as I said, I wonder if that's part of the reason why you sort of get to the end of this and you go, I will happily watch more, but I don't necessarily need more. And it's because you just kind of know they'll sort it out. Like whatever problems there, they'll sort it out. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's definitely like the theme of resolving the initial issues in a timely manner. And I know that Kane classically complains about, especially high school romance anime, that rely so much on misunderstandings and melodrama and dragging out these contrived bits of tension for the entire run. So the fact that they are so good at it's balanced enough that they still feel like kids enough, but they are relatively emotionally mature kids who are willing to actually like discuss and sort out their problems. And then they also have good adult role models to push them in the right direction when they need it, which is also great. And helps the realism as well, because you don't necessarily need to have the kids coming up with these extremely emotionally mature solutions to their problems. But at least there is someone in their orbit who can help us as viewers by moving things along in the right direction.
Yeah,
agreed.
That's the big part of, and one of the things I was gonna do, a little shout out earlier, is fucking shout out to Rintaro's dad up in here. For being there, because the whole season I was like, where's dad at? And then all of a sudden, not only is he there, he lives there and is active. He just works a lot. So I felt like I got tricked in a good way, because I was like, I was fully expecting dad to be fucking dead, but he's not. And
dead or deadbeat.
Yeah, dead or deadbeat. Either way, bad for the show. But he's there and he helps Rintaro, kind of go through his emotions in his own way and things. And that's a very good point, that the adult role models are there to kind of guide them along, especially, I think, keeping the characters like Rintaro, especially because that's kind of the main adults you see are his parents. But keeping him grounded in that, like, these problems that he's having don't need to have like incredibly complicated solutions. It's just like, go tell this person how you feel, or go talk to them. It's cool. You don't have to sit here and dread yourself into thinking that they hate you for the next 45 minutes or anything, because they don't. Just get up and go talk to them and everything will be cool. So they set them on a good path and keep them grounded without also going too simplistic, which I think sometimes adult role models can do in these shows, period, which is just like, gambate, and then that's it. The adults just give them platitudes like, you have to keep trying and work hard. It's like, well, yeah, but then at least Rentaro's mom gives him actual, like, good advice on communication. Like, no, say how you feel here, and do, like, real actionable advice that isn't just platitudes.
Usually while smacking him in the head.
Yeah, usually while hitting.
Because he's being an idiot.
Yeah.
Stop being such a 15-year-old kid.
Exactly. There is understanding from the adults that these kids are going to be melodramatic and things because that's just what being a teenager is about, and they don't just solve it by hitting them in the back of the head and then telling them to go do something outrageous and overly dramatic to solve their problems or whatever.
Right.
Don't need any of that foolishness up in here. And yes, I do complain about this stuff regularly, so I fully accept that. But that is the reason why I watched this in the first place. Is one of my friends said that it doesn't have that, just like how I enjoy Skip and Loafer a lot because it also doesn't have that.
Because it doesn't do that. Yeah. Well, and that's something I feel like we've seen more of in recent years. Obviously not universal, but I feel like we're seeing more and more of these sorts of series, anime or manga, that are kind of getting away from the long, drawn-out, melodramatic stuff in favor of keeping things simple and keeping things a little more realistic. And I agree, it's very much appreciated. Even though I am a fan of the genre and I don't mind that stuff. It's really nice when you don't have it and it's like, oh, this is very nice and grounded.
Yeah. Well, you get so close sometimes in these shows to feeling like the creators are just like infantilizing the main characters, or just being like, they're all big dumb idiots who are just gonna take everything to its emotional extreme and cry and then do something way too bombastic to fix it. And it's just like, I don't require these teenage characters, because I was a teenager, we all were, we understand how that goes. I don't require them to have the emotional maturity of someone in like their mid-30s and older who has experienced a lot, but like real kids don't do this like very frequently. They don't all act in the same way. Like there is ennui with growing up and, you know, going through puberty and such, but it doesn't always domino in this same way. And kids and teenagers are way smarter than I think a lot of media gives them credit for, which shows like this help, I think, move forward that sort of that idea that like, hey, they can do all of these things while still feeling realistic and still feeling like they can make mistakes. It's just every mistake they make doesn't have to then compound over 16 episodes until one character thinks the other one hates them. And it was just a disagreement over like the placement of a napkin at the lunch table.
Yeah, especially since, you know, these are marketed towards teenage audiences, right? So, it's nice to have kind of, again, a positive role model in the form of these characters and the situations they're going through and how they sort out their issues and interact with each other. Since classically there have been so many of these shonen and shoujo series that have just kind of the worst possible versions of yourself as a teenager, as your protagonists who you are following and watching through their eyes, which does not necessarily communicate the best messaging to a teenage audience. So it's good to see that there's somewhat of a trend and that series like this are popular and successful.
Very much agreed.
Yeah, I think if anything, that was my main issue with the show in general, is the idea of the two schools hating each other so much, like without getting any extra... It is the dumbest thing without having any context. I can only assume without reading it that there's something behind it, perhaps like their parents caused it or whatever, and it's just poor guidance from the parents. You know, or some sort of like classism type things, but just on its face that the show gives you, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But
so not to be spoilerish, but I will say that yes, there is ultimately reason you kind of get, like, we actually fully haven't gotten there yet. Like they're actually dealing with it now in the manga. Like but it's also something that doesn't fester at the same time. Like it's there, and it's something that they're kind of all aware of. But it's not necessarily something that they overly think about either. It
it's no
it
longer
only pops up occasionally.
right. It's no longer used as like the premise for all the conflicts like it was in the first few episodes, right?
Yeah.
I should say I had read a few volumes of the manga before the anime started, but the last few episodes of the anime are past what I've read, so
Okay.
I'm also not aware of anything that happens after this point. So.
Then I will shut up.
No. I mean, you have been doing good. The original premise was that I went into it as a manga reader to some extent. So I just want to clarify that I am personally equally ignorant as Kane to any future developments. So we are now viewing it from the same perspective. I'll probably get some more volumes before there's a season 2. But yeah, as of right now, my perspective is only what the anime has adapted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you like what they've done so far, I imagine you'll continue to like it. It's a lot more of the same.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the main character I want to learn about the most, or I guess you could say main character, cast member, whatever you want to say, is what's his name? Saku, the smart one, the one who has no business being in this school otherwise.
Yeah, that's another dumb thing. Is why is Saku at that school?
Yeah, I was assuming it's because he has some type of like latent anger issue. That was my guess, where he's ended up in this school because he actually used to be like a delinquent and then just ended up here by court order or something badass.
That was also kind of a plot point for like an episode, was that this was supposed to be a delinquent school, but it's like the most wholesome group of boys you've ever seen.
Yeah, they're just clearly dumb.
Yeah, they're just dumb, but it was supposed to be delinquents, and none of them are at all.
No, not really in the slightest, except for there's also a violent background to the one guy.
Yeah.
Because they had that fight scene that wasn't really a fight scene, because they just cut away and then cut back, and all the dudes were like totally fucked up.
Yeah. You're scary when you get serious.
Yeah. The guy who looks like he couldn't hurt a fly.
Yeah. So there's certainly some angles on some of the characters that I'd want to see how those play out.
They're obviously building a romance between Saku and Subaru as well.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, at least. Yeah, towards the end of the season. If not a romance, one of those like really close friendships based off of their sort of common personality traits.
Yeah, and possibly shared trauma.
Yeah, so I'm not a veteran of romantic comedies at all, so I was like, this could be a romance, but I don't know if these shows and properties are prone to doing that or not, where it's just like everyone starts pairing off, or if it's just this is the one pair, and then this is it, and then the rest is supporting cast. I really don't know.
No, you definitely get some side couples occasionally, but
yeah. Again, there's some where it's like eventually everybody's hooked up with somebody else, and then other ones where it is just the one. But
no, Subaru's gonna get with the extra dumb guy, the red-haired one.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we know who the extra dumb one is.
Don't even need to know his name. Just the extra dumb guy. Yeah.
There's the extra dumb guy, the actually smart guy, and the unassuming looking really strong guy.
Yeah. Which is exactly what you need for a posse.
Yeah, pretty much. You've checked all the boxes there.
And if everyone does pair up, then we have a gay couple, which is even better.
Yeah, that's true. The balance between boys and girls is off.
Yep.
I don't know if the manga introduces more friends, because she has more friends, but they all seem way more just generic screen filler.
Right. Yeah, we've only had 6 real characters for the kids so far.
Yeah, I'm very glad with how it ended up. Like It was a satisfying ending, though. I wish we would have gotten the yes a little sooner, or the episode wouldn't have been as long. Something, but that's me being impatient. But that's probably how these go as well, just in general.
Again, the fact that you got like a real couple formed in like 12 episodes is almost unheard of.
Yeah, that seems like something I wouldn't get very frequently, unless it was one of those shows or mangas where the couple's already been like established really early on, or something else like Wodakoi was pretty quick about that.
Yeah, but they were adults.
Like
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm just talking like romantic comedies, period.
Yeah.
Not high school only.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, you mentioned Skip and Loafer before. I mean, that's almost kind of the worst of both worlds. It takes them a while to work up to it, and then finally they're like, "All right, we're going to date," and that lasts for like a hot minute. And they're like, "Oh, this isn't really working. Let's not do this for now." Spoiler alert.
I guess I don't think about it that one in that way as much. I think because it's just more of, it's another one where all the friend characters, like there is a decent amount of time put into the friend characters hanging out, that it felt more like there is a romantic piece to that show, but it sometimes felt like a subplot more than anything, because there'd be whole episodes just dedicated to like one of the side characters hanging out with the group and trying to get comfortable in there, rather than the side characters getting sort of comfortable with each other as they support the main characters. It would be like, here's a whole episode dedicated to just this one nerd girl in the group or whatever. So it felt more like an ensemble than others. And this one as well, like, didn't quite have that same feeling, because most of the characters were getting their development as a facet of their role in supporting the development of the main couple.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, I will just say that as a fan of the entire manga, as somebody who's read the entire manga, I could not have asked for a better adaptation for hopefully just the first season.
Yeah. Beautiful adaptation, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe if a second season is made, we'll get it at the same time as everybody else.
Maybe. Be beautiful.
That would be nice.
Maybe with the second season, we'll get an AI dub at the same time.
Whoa. Don't say that. Do not say that. The only way I'm watching an AI dub of that is if some guy made it as a joke and it's just Microsoft Sam as every voice.
I want an AI voice of Clippy. Can we get an AI voice of Clippy?
Yeah, let's do something useful with this technology.
None of it is
I feel
useful.
like they're bringing Clippy back for something.
Oh, really?
They should?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, the cycle of things. You know how it goes. Every few decades, everything comes back around again.
Yep.
Everything
old is new again. Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I think we have a little bit short of an episode, but we covered kind of all the stuff we wanted to talk about. So I know we want to save our end of season, end of year stuff for another one. So I think we can comfortably move into any recommendations that you folks may have for our listeners out there to watch, play, read, etc., and then we can call it quits for the night. So does anyone want to volunteer, or am I going to call someone out of the three of you?
Oh, God.
See, I don't have a lot of real top priority Blu-ray releases for the month of December. For manga, so the Chinese series Heaven Official's Blessing has had so the anime, or they're all Chinese productions, but I'll use the Japanese terms because it's close enough. The anime has been out, got a Blu-ray release. The novels came out and then came out again with a deluxe hardcover release. And then the like manhwa, there was a release that was marketed as the manhwa, and it had like pretty fancy looking hardcover editions. But in fact, that was just like screenshots of the anime with speech bubbles put on it, film comics or whatever they call it. So now the actual like manhwa adaptation of the novels with really nice art has started to be released. So since the film comic one already took the name Heaven Official's Blessing the Manhwa, this one is called Heaven Official's Blessing the Comic, which is very confusing. But yeah, that is coming out in nice fancy deluxe hardcovers from Inklore. First one just came out and it looks really nice. So check that out. I've also been, apparently I'm recommending everything except Japanese comics. I've been reading my first actual webtoon. I did read Solo Leveling, but in book form. This series, The Greatest Estate Developer, I've been reading on the actual webtoon platform because it does not have a physical release in English. I hope it does. Really great series. Almost caught up, and I think the main story has ended recently, so I guess I'm almost done with that. It's like 200 chapters. It's hilarious. It does not take itself seriously almost at all. And then when it does, it's surprisingly sincere and heartfelt. It has great action, great artwork. But yeah, again, just really funny, really clever with all of its plot elements, as much as it uses familiar tropes and very tired tropes. It's very clever and innovative in its execution, and because it jokes around so much, it kind of gets away with some more than it would otherwise. So yeah, Greatest Estate Developer on Webtoon. Recommend that. Hopefully it gets physical release. Hopefully it gets an anime adaptation. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I got for recommendations.
Kate, did you come up with anything in that time frame?
In that time frame, the Critical Role adaptation of the Mighty Nine is available on Amazon Prime. It is very good. If the Vox Machina series didn't really click with you because it was too like wacky or whatever out there, I don't know. Mighty Nine is much better. It's serious animated drama, good English cartoon bullshit. English language American cartoon bullshit. So yeah, check that out. That's my one recommendation.
Cool beans. Mark, anything from your end?
Yeah. One. So yesterday I finished reading the manga Insomniacs After School, which was excellent. The 12th volume of that, the entire thing, most of the entire thing is available on the Viz app, but they're releasing it physically as well, with the 12th volume coming out next week, as we record this on December 16th. I went into that expecting it to be a lighthearted rom-com, and then I got about 3 chapters in and I was like, oh shit, this is going to make me hurt, isn't it? And so then I spent the next about 120 chapters with a dark cloud hanging over me, but it was really, really good. Highly recommended. And then the other thing, also on the Viz app as of today, it was just announced today. There is a new manga being released called Gal Yuri, which I had been sort of following in its Japanese form. They did a one shot a few months ago, and then got a series off of it. And it's basically just a cutesy, high school rom com about 2 girls who find themselves single, and they're just like, "Hey, let's date." And then it's just them being silly after that. So that was just announced today that it's getting simulpubbed on the Viz app as well. And they've got all 11 chapters out on there. So there's my recommendations.
Nice. I think that Insomniacs, didn't that get an anime a little bit ago?
Yep.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
I have not watched the anime yet. Now that I've read the manga, I plan to watch the anime, but yes, it did.
I thought so. I remember at least seeing the listing for it and thinking it seemed relatively interesting. A fun premise.
It's a really interesting premise, and as I said, it is really, really good, really, really good. But it was heavier than I expected it to be, while still at the same time being kind of lighthearted, weirdly enough. So
Interesting. All right. And then from my end, I did in fact start reading Witch Hat Atelier, and
Hey, yeah.
it slaps hard. 100% certified. It's so good. Like, I'm very excited to see what the anime will look like, because it has...
Oh, I hope it holds it together. The only thing they've showed of the anime so far is everything that would be in the first episode. And nothing beyond it, so that scares the hell out of me. At least the first episode will look really good, but we know that doesn't always reflect on anything.
Right. Yeah, it does. It has a ton of runway to work with. That's for sure. Like, I've really enjoyed reading everything so far. Its world is really well built. The characters are all unique and have their own, like, clearly defined, if somewhat mysterious motivations for things. So it isn't just like, I want to do this because X, or I'm not even going to explain why I want to do this. Like, the story unfolds at a really nice pace. A really interesting assortment of characters, both main and supporting. It's just really strong overall. And then the art is really good as well, especially the covers and the introductory images. One thing I did notice, and Kate, you are reading it or have read it, is I think the mangaka stated that they worked on like American and Marvel like comic covers and things.
Yeah, she's done work on lots of American stuff. Yeah,
she draws very realistic hands and feet, which I noticed pretty quickly, because it's like they're very like well created, but it's like their faces and things still have somewhat of like an anime look to them, but then their hands and feet are way more like traditional art based. Like, you can see all sorts of like where the knuckles are, and like little crooks and the arches and all that stuff, rather than it just being like what I'm used to seeing, especially on hands, which is like, here's a pointy thing, like all the fingers are slender and everything like that. I also found that to be really interesting, that those pieces of anatomy in particular almost look like they come from a different art style entirely, which is interesting. But
yeah, I'm trying to find a example of something that she's done for American stuff. Hold on.
Yeah, I've read that in one of the covers, but she didn't say what she did other than worked on Marvel covers or DC covers. Yeah, like superhero stuff.
Yeah. There you go. There's a cover she did.
Yeah, you can definitely see that influence come in.
Yeah.
With the manga, which is nice. But yeah, it's very, very good. So I'm glad I started reading it. I think the anime is April of 2026 or something like that.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a ways to go, but hopefully that means it's just getting all of the attention that it needs, because I could really see it being something if they give it the love that it deserves.
The story is so good. It has like one of my favorite magic systems out of any fantasy thing I've read. It's just really smart the way it's done. There's a lot of weird like ethical bullshit going on in it, and she actually puts like people of color in her comics, which is rare. And they're not drawn like a horrible stereotype, because she's done a lot of work for America, so she's not oblivious to this stuff. So Yeah, she's fantastic. The comic is fantastic. The characters in the comic are fantastic. Later in the series, probably past. I don't. How far have you read? Like volume wise. Did I lose Kane?
I lost Kane.
Damn. Now I'll never know how far he made into the comic. Anyway, well, later in the comic, one of the scariest fucking monsters in any thing I've ever seen shows up, and it's not what you would think or expect. Man, I don't think Kane's coming back for this exit.
Cool.
Great, cool, great. Well, Kestrel, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at FullMetalKyoma and Blue Sky at kestrelswift.bsky.social. You can find the podcast wherever you find podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, etc. Find us on fandompost.com. Find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Fandom Post Radio. Get in contact with us via any of those or email at fandompostradio@gmail.com. I think that's it.
Mark, where can we find you?
And find me occasionally on Blue Sky at mdthomas.bsky.social. You can also find me on Fandom Post, and where I actually posted last week my review of Fragrant Flowers. So go check that out.
There we go. Perfect.
You could find Kane directly here on this podcast.
Or not anymore.
Or not anymore, apparently, because Comcast hates him. He didn't have enough support for Comcast, so therefore Comcast decided to dump him off.
We shouldn't have talked shit about Comcast earlier in the episode.
We were relatively positive about Comcast, yet here we are.
It's the relatively part. That's the problem.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
I've heard Kane's outro enough to know that he is exclusive to our podcast. You can find him here. Just page us. We will try to reach through the ether to find Kane.
Or we will have AI replace Kane.
No, I would never do that to any of you. I love you all too much. You can find me on Blue Sky at SonicBug. You can find all my reviews on fandompost.com. I am currently reviewing Past the Monster, Meet My Lady, which is boring as fuck. Do not watch it. And To Your Eternity Season 3, I am reviewing that slowly, working my way through that show, which we didn't talk about this week. We'll talk about it later. It'll still be running in the winter season. I didn't think they could be any more batshit insane than the series has been, but I've been proven wrong. And
never doubt anime.
Never doubt To Your Eternity. That show is screwy. It remains screwy, despite the fact that I thought we had no territory left to cover on that front. So thank you for joining us. If you have any feedback, please send it to us. We always look for more feedback, and share us, share, subscribe, review, all those wonderful things. And join us next time when we will talk about more anime. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.